I'm just smiling because I'm happy. No reason at all. I hope it's contagious and you find yourself just start smiling too. You hear me? Because it can always be worse. And it may be worse for somebody somewhere. You hear me? And I don't wish that on us. You know? I wish us well all the time. You hear me? But life happens. And in our reality, things ain't well all the time. But that don't mean we can't be well. You hear me? Ain't that something to smile about? I feel good for no reason at all. I'm happy for no reason at all. You know, before I plugged in and started talking to y'all, I was just doing what I'm doing. After getting out the shower, sitting here, listening to the frequency. You know, listening to my own mind. You know, absorbing the frequencies, the energy. Just feeling good for no reason at all. Why? Because that's my accountability to myself. Now, if you listening, you just caught that. Because that's your accountability to yourself. I could be an activator, but it could take you to do it. You hear me? And even if I be an activator, if you don't build it up in yourself, if you don't activate it in yourself and build it up in yourself, peace, joy, love, happiness, because we know what's on the other side. You know what's on the other side of peace. You know what's on the other side of joy. You know what's on the other side of happiness. You know what's on the other side of laughter. You see? You know what's on the other side of good things. You know what's on the other side of those things. So that's the choice. That's the accountability. That's the responsibility. You see, every day we rise up, from the time we rise up, we got an accountability. We got a responsibility, emotionally, mentally, and vibrationally, which gonna go into the other unseen aspects of ourselves. You hear me? Which those three are unseen aspects of ourselves. But we know we operate by it. You don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But every day we rise up, we gotta get ourselves in the highest space possible. You know, where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, that's where you gotta get yourself. You hear me? I don't care what Instagram or what TikTok or what social media or what external avenue, you may use to assist you and help you get tapped in. You gotta do the work yourself. You hear me? Tap in, tune out, and turn up. That's how it works. You hear me? You know, it's an everyday accountability. And every day to ourselves. You heard? Everyday accountability. Man, I got so many things on my mind, but I only came to share fruit. But cause I also want to get a short a quick oracle card reading in. But everything is about choices, man. Everything is about choices, and common sense ain't so common because everybody don't use it. And the reason that I say that is because, you know, yes manning is the new idol worship. You know, that yes manning, that means, it's just an observation. And some of y'all may have observed what I'm about to share, but it's just especially when we paying attention to what we're observing, whether it's on TV, whether it's on social media, whether it's on news, or whatever that your avenue may be for external entertainment. You hear me? Because anything external of you, you know, it is a part of the entertainment. But the reason I say that yes, man has become the new idol worship, because I noticed that in the different spaces, you know, and when you're observing the different, what's going on in the different chat streams, you know, people could be saying things that's totally, I'm looking for people could say things that's totally non-factual. People could say things that's straight up ignorance, you know. People could say a lot of things that if they took the time to think about and to think about the things before being said, we probably wouldn't say a lot of things that we say, including myself. And I try to be so in touch with what my mind doing and what my thoughts are thinking, you know, in accordance with what I'm communicating when I'm communicating, so I don't be in the lower realms of the space that I'm speaking to. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But that's important, because our peers, because I don't have an idol out. I don't have an idol outside myself. I idolize myself. You hear me? I put a lot of time into me to idolize myself, so I don't care what celebrity status a person holds, what title a person holds. It don't move me beyond myself. Because knowledge itself is about means just that, knowledge itself. You hear me? So being like that, disciplining myself like that, remove my expectation of people, remove my idol worship capacity from people. So you know, whether you're a regular person on the street or whether you're a star, you still just a person to me. You hear me? Just to clarify what I meant by that. But I'm going in these spaces that I'm going to lead us somewhere, because I heard something said that it didn't sit right with me. Regardless of the fact of the respect that I had from who shared it, but it didn't sit right with me. And you know, the more I kept playing, I really didn't know why. And I ain't just want to feel like I was just ripping the conversation apart instead of listening to the conversation, you know, and you know, as it occurred. And the more that I just kept planning, I started seeing the ignorance or stupidity or the nonsense, because it was said that if you spend too much time in your head, negativity starts to erupt. And that's the part that didn't sit right with me. Further went on to say, the more you overthink, the more negative you think. So I was analyzing that for me, and it wasn't sitting right. So I said to myself, instead of confronting it, I just hold my concerns about it for the day's message. But it's obvious that couldn't apply for everybody. And if you just walk with me with what I just shared, some of y'all gonna immediately know that it don't sit right with you. So it definitely couldn't be true for everybody if it don't sit right with you. But it may sit right with some, but we just not those ones. But that can't be true for everybody, because everybody, we all process things different. We don't process things the same, you know. We don't think about things that occur in the same way. We don't look at things that occur in the same way. So we won't feel the same way about the things that occur. From the same perspective, from the same mental range, from the same emotional maturity, and so forth and so on, according to anything that we experience. So my question is, because remember, if you spend too much time in your head, negativity starts to erupt. So my question is, where do you spend your time? Where do you spend your time? That's my question to us, to you, and to myself. Where do you spend your time? I already know the answer, but where do you spend your time? Regardless of where you are, regardless of what you're doing, regardless of who you're around, where do you spend your time? Regardless of who you're doing it with, where do you spend your time? And even with all the clues, it's still going to sound like a trick question for some. But for a few of us, we already don't answer that. We already got that sold up. Where do you spend your time? You hear me? And for those that's thinking about it, I won't expose why. That you gotta think about it, but I understand. You hear me? Where do you spend your time? Please don't win out. We all spend our time in our head. No matter what we feeling, no matter what we thinking, no matter what. We all spend our time in our head. Now think about it, if you need to. If you spend your time anywhere else, let me know. I'll wait. You hear me? But what type of time are we spending? But what type of time are we spending? Because that'll determine what I started out with as far as the negativity. You know, if you spend your time in positivity going to occur. If you spend your time in a positive mental space, positivity gonna occur. That don't mean negativity won't happen, but positivity gonna occur. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. If you spend your time, out of all the time that you spend in your own head, if you spend your time on negativity is gonna occur. You see, from those thoughts, negative feelings gonna occur. From positive feelings from positive thought, positive feelings is going to occur. You hear me? Everything that occurs in between where we calibrating ourselves, the space we calibrating ourselves from and to is on us. Everything be external to that is just an experience to determine what you're going to choose, how you're going to choose. You know, we got to be careful. We got to be careful. Not only to what we listen to, we got to be careful that how we listen to what we listen to. You know, we can't make who it's coming from more important than what's being said. You know, yes, man, can't be the new idol worship. You know, for those who know how to listen, to know how to heal. Because you got to know how to listen to know how to heal. Or you got to know how to heal to know how to listen. Whichever way you want to shake it up, baby, it's up to you. You hear me? But it's going to be important, man. Because we at war for our own mind. And then we be at war in our own mind. You see? It's a war for our mind. And then every day, you know, depending on where we at, to some days not a war, but but we familiar with the war that it took to get outside the war in place and be able to integrate it. But for those that's not there yet, you see, we're in a war for our minds, and it's a war for our minds. You hear me? But we spend all our time in our head. Where else do we spend our time at? You know, it's only one part of us that's here in this reality with us and able to do all the perceiving and conceiving and perceptualizing. And that same part of us is beyond this reality. Because we do it in other places, you know. When we go to sleep, it's still active. The mind is always in movement, whether we conscious of it or not. Whether we're asleep or we're awake. We always spending time in our mind. You hear me? Those who are exercising mastery of their mind, control of their mind, discipline of their mind, that monkey mind, you hear me, can resonate with what I'm saying. You hear me? You know? But to say that if we spend too much time in our head overthinking, negativity starts to erupt, that's emphatically non-cipher. That's not correct. You know? How you use your thinking. You know? What childhood factors shape how you think? You know, what childhood factors what childhood factors shape how you think as an adult? What childhood factors shape how we act as an adult? You know, what childhood factors shape how we feel as an adult? All those things play into the type of time we spend in our mind. And if we and depending on what we carry and how we still carrying it, you know, cause that has a lot to do with how we still carrying what we carry, what place we carrying it from, what place we carrying what we carrying from. You hear me? You know. We still dealing with some things, or we don't heal from them things that we had to deal with, and not able to speak back to it and help others that may be dealing with those same things. Where we at? All those things determine being able to say that, but we can't place that on everybody. Make it real. Make it real. You hear me? While I let that ripple, let me get a card ready for it and slide on up out of here. We gotta break them cycles. Everything that represents resistance in our lives, that's what we want out the way. You hear me? We gotta shatter it. You know? Shatter it. Shatter it. We put in so much work, it's gonna look like we putting on the show, but we ain't putting on the show. We just showing up for ourselves in ways that people never seen. You hear me? So it look like the greatest show on earth. You hear me? Become aware. Synchronicities never fail. Become aware. I seen what that is, a leopard or a jaguar. Become aware. What it say? Listen to the wisdom of the body. Synchronicities be coming through. Listen to the wisdom of the body. You hear me? Where do you spend your time? Where do you spend your time? That's a number 6. Number 6. Become aware. Our bodies are a wonderful collection of our lived experiences, Our bodies are a wonderful collection of our lived experiences. So this body that we in at present, what that's speaking to me, this body that we in at present, even though we in this present timeline, hold the experiences of every timeline we ever lived, hold the memories of every timeline we ever lived, and all the timelines that we in at the same time that we in this timeline. If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. See, I'm a multi-dimensional being, so and I don't believe that. I know that. So I'm gonna say a lot of multi-dimensional things. You see, and when I do, it's up for you to decide. I don't know who I needed to say that for, but our bodies are a wonderful collection of our lived experiences. They hold for us our feelings, memories, and states of being. What I was speaking to earlier, our states of being. A living library of the subconscious. There is beauty in this collective, but there can also be pain. It ain't gonna always be good. You hear me? Particularly for the inner child. Because of this, it is good to practice becoming aware of our body's current state of being. Where do you spend your time? How are you used to thinking? I love the synchronicities. Awareness exercise. In a comfortable place, close your eyes and bring your focus to your physical body. During this exercise, you may experience strong sensations in your body, no sensations in your body, or sensations that fall somewhere in between. All of these responses are normal. The purpose of this practice is to connect with your unique body, connect with your energy, connect with your mind, connect with your thoughts, connect with your feelings, connect with your sensation. With your eyes closed, bring your awareness to the inside of your body. Tap in, tune out, turn up, bring your awareness to the inside of your body. Imagine what the space inside of your head feels like. And imagine opening your eyes to the inside of your head and looking around. Some of y'all probably doing it now. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, trust me. Salutes. What do you see? How does your head feel? Now that your gaze is focused inward, take a few deep breaths, relaxing with each exhale. Practice bringing awareness once again to the top of your head. Does it feel heavy or light? Tense or relaxed? Can you attribute any of the sensations to an emotion connected to something? To cut the discord, you gotta find the connection that need to be disconnected. Note how this area of your body feels and move downward, stopping at each area as you go along. The throat, the shoulders, the chest, the arms, your core, your thighs, your calves, until your feet. It ain't even have all that. I just kept going. You hear me? Why stop? That was the exercise, family. Become aware. What thoughts and sensations are coming to you after this practice? Write them down. Is there anything that you feel you need to do for your body now? Go do it. And be aware. You hear me? If you know, you ain't gotta believe. You hear me? We spend all our time in our head, in our mind. You hear me? Within this body. Make it real. What we gonna do today? What we gonna do today? smiley face, man. We're gonna smile, man. We're gonna smile. 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 You hear me? We're gonna smile. We're gonna smile for the inner child. That's gonna be the emoji. We're gonna smile for the inner child. And even if we repeat the emojis, it's just what we had to do. You hear me? Cosmic Conscious Family and Soul Tribe, I appreciate y'all. Stillness, good things, love and light, health and wholeness. To the Cosmic Conscious Family and Soul Tribe, new subscribers, welcome to the family. Peekapoos and passerbys, salutes. You hear me? To those who are subscribed, you watch the video, place the emoji, which will be a smiling emoji. Any kind of emoji you want. We'll rock it like that. Any kind of emoji you want, long as it's positive. Place it in the comment section. Simple as that. Feel good for no reason at all. Simple as that. If you want to answer any of the questions that I asked in the comment section, feel free to do so. If you're led to do so, your response may help somebody else out that come through, and invoke them to leave a comment too, or help them, assist them in some way on their journey too. I appreciate all y'all who do that. You know who you are, so forth and so on. I appreciate y'all, family love. My name is Sawu.